Planning a trip to Korea and completely overwhelmed by where to stay or what to do, we get it. Glenda and I spent 6 nights and 5 days in Seoul testing out the sites so you don't have to guess. Now, if you want to deep dive into any of these individual locations, we have dedicated vlogs for every single one of them right here on the channel. But in this video, we are ranking the top 10 places we visited strictly from worst to best. And yes, some of these hot takes might offend a few travel bloggers. Before we start counting down, let's talk about logistics. How do you pick a hotel in a sprawling metropolis of nearly 10 million people? Simple. We dropped every single attraction we wanted to see into Google Maps as a pin, zoomed out, and picked a hotel right in the absolute center of this cluster. That led us straight to the Voco Seoul Myeongdong, and it was a strategic masterpiece. Landing in Seoul after a long flight and taking the airport limousine bus right to the front door saved us from dragging suitcases through crowded subway stations. We booked a room with a city view and executive lounge access, which turned out to be a game changer. Every evening they served free canapes and drinks, meaning after walking 20,000 steps, we could sit down, grab a drink, and recharge without immediately hunting for a restaurant. Speaking of food, their breakfast buffet was massive. They had everything: international staples, Chinese dishes, and full Korean spreads. And here's an overview of the buffet. Sauerkraut, bangers and mash, I guess. Warm soy milk and Chinese fried dough sticks. This is really good. Spicy bean curds, shrimp fried rice. Then we have the famous tteokbokki, gochujang, tteokbokki, mackerel, bulgogi. Glenda's getting some beef porridge, and we've got broth in here, I think. Apple juice, grapefruit juice, orange juice. We've got milk, skim milk, soy milk, orange, pineapple, etc. Okay, so this is my selection for the day. Beef bulgogi and rice, stewed rice. We've got some tteokbokki. Tteokbokki is rice cakes. We got some pickled radishes, and this is Chinese pork rolls, or pork, basically fried pork. And well, you know what that is. It's a croissant. Breakfast of champions.
This morning I have my absolute favorite, and this is beef porridge. It's kind of like oatmeal but with rice, and it has little bits of the leftover beef bulgogi they put in there with green onion, and it's a great way to start the day. Fuels you and stays with you all day long.
Okay.
Then I have some fresh salmon with horseradish and capers and purple onion, and some good old American bacon, hard-boiled egg for some more protein. This is my one splurge for the week. I got this little lemon tart. I haven't had any pastries while we've been here. This is a sweet and sour pork.
Yeah.
And I have rubris iced tea.
And then what is this?
An Activa. And this is cassava melon, what we would call cassava melon in the US. Here they're only this big rather than huge. And pineapple, because it's another thing that really helps digestion. So by eating this for breakfast with the protein and things that stick with you, really we just have coffee at noon and we just keep going. We haven't stopped for lunch, I don't think, at all. So fuel yourself up with lots of protein and less sugar, and you'll be really good to go.
Glenda and I gave this spread an absolute 10 out of 10. Having the central base camp with solid food easily saved us 2 hours of transit time every single day. Ding, 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 ding. Before we hit number 10, let's kick things off with our honorable mention. the Banpo Bridge Rainbow Foundation. On paper, this sounds amazing. Built in 1982, Banpo Bridge crosses the Han River, and in 2010 they added nearly 400 nozzles along both sides that shoot 190 tons of water per minute in a choreographed music show. It even holds the Guinness World Record for the world's longest bridge fountain. When we arrived, there was live music playing and people having riverfront picnics. The atmosphere was great, but the crowd was colossal. It felt like half of Seoul had the exact same plan. It's a fun, relaxing spot if you're already in the area, but unless you enjoy wrestling several thousand tourists for 3 feet of grass, don't make a dedicated 2-hour cross-town trek just for this. Coming in at number 10 is Gyeongbokgung Palace. Now, historically speaking, this place is incredible. Built in 1395, it was the main royal palace of the Joseon dynasty. It was destroyed during the Japanese invasions of the late 16th century, left abandoned for nearly 300 years, and systematically rebuilt in the 19th and 20th centuries. So why is it number 10? 2 words: heat and influencers. If you rent a traditional hanbok garment, entrance to the palace is completely free. That sounds great until you realize you are visiting on a 90-degree Fahrenheit day with 80% humidity. We opted to pay the entrance fee rather than wear 3 layers of traditional silk in sweltering heat just to save $3. The palace grounds are massive and architecturally stunning, but there is virtually zero shade. Furthermore, it was teeming with thousands of tourists and influencers trying to shoot their next viral TikTok in every courtyard. Add in the fact that finding water bottle refill stations was like searching for an oasis in the Sahara, and the experience lost its magic fast. If you go, bring 3 liters of water and prepare to be collateral damage in 50 different selfie shots. At number 9, we have Bukchon Hanok Village. And yes, I know this might be a travel cardinal sin, but hear me out. Bukchon is preserved to show a 600-year-old urban environment dating back to the Joseon era, showcasing traditional Hanok architecture with curved tiled roofs. The problem? It felt like a total tourist trap. The narrow streets were wall-to-wall with tour groups, even in the middle of a blazing hot summer day. Because people actually live in these houses, visiting hours are strictly restricted and enforced from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., with staff holding signs begging tourists to be quiet. Its main redeeming quality is that it's located right between Gyeongbokgung and Cheonggyecheon palaces, making it an easy stop if you're already in costumes. But here's the thing. Seoul has several other Hanok villages that offer a much better experience and are also free. You have Namsan, an open-air museum at the foot of Namsan Mountain with restored Joseon-era homes. Myeongdong, a trendy maze of modern cafes and boutiques. Cheonggyecheon, a laid-back, authentic neighborhood just west of Gyeongbokgung. And Yeonpyeong, a peaceful neo-Hanok complex built in 2014 set against Bukchon Mountain. If you want to escape the massive tour buses and get a truly authentic, relaxed feel, skip the Bukchon crowds and head to Seocheon Hanok Village instead. But as for Bukchon itself, it felt over-commercialized and under-delivered. Number 8 goes to Dongdaemun Design Plaza, or DDP. Designed by the legendary architect Zaha Hadid, this neo-futuristic building opened in 2014 and looks like a giant silver spaceship landed in the middle of historic Seoul. It features curved aluminum panels, seamless concrete, and 0 straight lines. Architecturally, it is brilliant. Content-wise, there isn't much to do. When we walked through, there was an exhibition for young kids and a couple of design shops, but mostly vast empty concrete halls. We later found out that DDP really comes alive at night when the entire structure lights up and nighttime markets kick off nearby. So our advice, skip the daytime walk and visit after dark if you want to see this at its best. Sitting at number 7 is Cheonggyecheon Stream, a location that suffered entirely from a bad first impression. This stream has an amazing history. After the Korean War, it became a polluted, neglected channel covered over by a concrete elevated highway in the 1960s. In 2003, the city launched a massive $380 million urban restoration project to tear down the highway and restore the natural waterway. When we first saw the northern end near Dongdaemun, it was overgrown, looked poorly maintained, and frankly felt underwhelming. But later in the trip, we visited the downtown section closer to Myeongdong. That part was beautiful, spotless, featuring stepped waterfalls, art installations, and peaceful walking paths along street level. Had we seen the downtown section first, this easily would have ranked in our top 5. Coming in at number 6 is the famous Starfield Library, located inside the massive subterranean COEX Mall. Opened in 2017, this library covers 30,000 square meters and features 42 feet tall towered bookshelves housing over 70,000 books and magazines. Visually, it is impressive, but functionally, it's a gigantic photo studio. I don't know what I expected, but at the end of the day, it's just a towering shelves of books that nobody can reach without a crane ladder. It's a great 5-minute photo opportunity if you're already at COEX Mall, but I wouldn't build an entire afternoon around it. Pro tip, if you want an even more dramatic version, check out the newer Starfield Library in Suwon, which opened in early 2024 and spans multi-floor open atrium spaces. Cracking the top 5 is a doubleheader, Namdaemun Market and Myeongdong Night Market. These two markets are located within walking distance of each other, but they offer completely different vibes. Namdaemun is Korea's oldest traditional market, dating back to 1414 during King Taejong's reign. It closes around 5 or 6 p.m. and feels like a gritty, authentic flea market built for locals selling clothes, housewares, and traditional street food. My personal favorite here was the japchae, savory glass noodles stirred with vegetables. Right as Namdaemun winds down around 7 p.m., Myeongdong Night Market powers up, and Myeongdong is a bright, high-energy, neon spectacle aimed straight at tourists, lined with dozens and dozens of food carts. Glenda's absolute favorite here was the blueberry mochi. Doing both markets back-to-back is the ultimate culinary gauntlet. Just make sure you bring cash, a lot of it, and loose-fitting pants. At number 4, we have Namsan Seoul Tower. Sitting atop Namsan Mountain, this transmission tower was built in 1969 and sits roughly 1,500 feet above sea level. We actually visited twice. The first time, we decided to hike up the mountain in a light drizzle. The tower observation deck was closed due to low visibility, but the hike down through the mist-covered forest trails was peaceful and gorgeous. The second time, we took the famous Namsan cable car up. The views were vast, though the summit was packed with tourists locking padlocks onto the railings. Would we do it again? Yes, but with a catch. The weather in Seoul can be hit or miss, so check the fog forecast before buying a ticket. If we went back, we'd book a reservation at the revolving restaurant at the top to enjoy the views without standing shoulder to shoulder on the observation deck. Taking the bronze medal at number 3 is Cafe Pokpo and the Hongjecheon Waterfall. This spot is brilliant urban planning. Built directly underneath a massive concrete freeway overpass, this multi-level community cafe sits facing an urban waterfall and natural cliff face. The natural sound of cascading water completely drown out the traffic above. The area behind the cafe features manicured nature trails and wooden boardwalks, parts of which have been used as filming locations for various K-dramas. It offers plenty of open seating, great iced coffee, and a serene atmosphere that makes you forget you're in a city of 10 million people. It was easily one of the most relaxing hours of the entire trip. Our runner-up at number 2 is Dotori Cafe and Bakery. Seoul is famous for its coffee culture, and most tourists line up for hours around the block at places like Cafe Onion. We decided to skip that massive queue and wandered into Dotori instead, and it was an absolute win. Designed with a rustic fairy tale aesthetic reminiscent of a Studio Ghibli film, the interior features dark wood beams, vintage decor, and soft lighting. But beyond the theme, the bakery items and specialty coffees were exceptional. It offered a tranquil atmosphere where you could actually sit back and enjoy breakfast without feeling rushed by a line of tourists staring through the window. And taking the number 1 spot on our list is Lotte World Tower. Standing at 1,823 feet tall, this 123-story skyscraper is currently the 6th tallest building in the world and the tallest in South Korea. From start to finish, the engineering here is mind-blowing. The double-deck Sky Shuttle elevator travels at 33 feet per second, taking you from the basement to the 112th floor in under 60 seconds. The elevator walls and ceilings are lined with seamless OLED displays, usually showing a hyper-realistic animation of Seoul's history as you ascend, but is currently hosting a major Star Wars-themed collaboration with Disney Korea, featuring 2 primary experiences that ran through late 2026. Once you step out onto the Seoul Sky Observation Deck, featuring glass-bottom floor sections suspended hundreds of feet above the city, the panoramic views across the Han River and surrounding mountains are unreal. Standing at the top, looking out over the entire metropolis was an unforgettable experience and easily the highlight of our 5 days in Korea. So, what's our final verdict on doing Seoul in 6 nights and 5 days? It is fast-paced, but 100% doable, provided you plan smart. By picking a central hotel like the Voco, utilizing public transit and the airport limousine bus, and grouping your sites geographically, you can cover an incredible amount of ground without feeling completely burned out. If you enjoyed this video, drop a comment letting us know which of these spots you'd visit first or you have visited. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and check out our playlist for the full deep dive vlogs on every location featured today. Until next time, gute Reise, safe travels. Ding, 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 ding.
Train pulls in, rain on the glass, tiny cafe, watch the world pass, map in my palm, vocal in my ear, every turn says you belong here.